Good morning, everybody. Welcome this morning. It is now 9 a.m. We are going to call to order the monthly meeting of the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District for Tuesday, March 21st. First on the agenda is salute to the flag. Mr. Lieutenant Commander and Incident Commander Sam Hicks, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, sir. Not for this meeting, yeah. Good morning, Chief. Madam Clerk, can I get a roll call, please?
Certainly. Bob Lucy, Chair.
Here.
Marcia Burke-Bigler, Vice Chair.
Here.
Kitty Jung.
Present.
Vaughn Hartung. Jeannie Herman.
Here.
Fire Chief Charles Moore.
Here.
Assistant District Attorney Paul Liparelli.
Here.
I'm Nancy Parent, County Clerk. You have a quorum, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 3 is public comment. Madam Clerk, is there any public comment?
I have no cards. No one has signed in.
Thank you. Item number 4 is Commissioners, Fire Chiefs announcements, requests for information, topics for future agendas, and statements relating to items not on the agenda. Mr. Chairman, I wanted to announce that we're very close to getting our standards of cover revision document done. I hope to present the draft of that document next month.
Great. And Chief, can you give us a brief report about the volunteer meeting you had last night?
Certainly, I was going to do that in the Chief's report, but
okay.
I certainly could do it here.
Oh, let's do it in Chief's report. That's
Okay.
fine. All right, so we are on to consent agenda. Is there anybody who would like to remove any items from the consent at this time? Seeing none, looking for a motion?
So moved.
I have a motion. I have a second. Motion by Commissioner Hartung, second by Commissioner Jung. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Item 6.
Item number 6 is the report from Local 3895. Ian Satterfield is here.
Good morning. Ian Satterfield for the record, Local 3895 President. Looking at the agenda, I'm going to be very quick because it looks like there's a lot to be handled today. Just a reminder, we have the Guns and Hoses coming up here very quickly. And secondly, we did send myself back to Washington, D.C. with the PFFN for some lobbying work. Probably the biggest thing we were working on back there that affects us here is for the SAFER grant and firefighter grants. So we're working to try and continue that. We'll see what happens with the new regime back there. So we'll see what happens there. And then finally, want to just congratulate our new employees that are coming on today, as well as our firefighter and firefighter paramedic of the year. Just a quick congratulations from Local 3895. And that's all I have for you today, unless you have any questions.
I don't think there's any questions at this time. All right. Thank you,
thank
Mr. Satterfield. Chief, agenda 97, please.
Item number 7 is presentation of an award by VFW Post 10053. Scott Wilcox and Dave Armstrong are here to present an award to Brian Paquette and No Keith Henry.
Great. Good morning, Mr. Wilcox and Mr. Armstrong. How are you?
Mr. Commissioner, Board, it's a pleasure being here today. It's an honor to be here today. As veterans, we not only support our own, but we support our community. And one of our programs is supporting the firefighters and the district. They do an outstanding job, and I don't think they get enough recognition as far as the public. But we're here today, and I found out Saturday that not only did they win district, state, but they also won National VFW Firefighter and EMT of the Year.
Wow.
So along with that goes a $150 check for each one. So I'd like to make the presentations now. Fire Equipment Operator Brian Paquette. And Paramedic of the Year, Nokeef Henry.
Come on down.
Don't be bashful.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Brian?
Thank you.
O'Keefe?
Yeah.
You guys, it's an honor to be here today. Brian, district, state, and we also have an appreciation from our national commander, Brian Duffy. It reflects on your dedication, your readiness, and the district you work for. And we are honored to be here, and we love being able to help serve you guys in any way, and this is one way we can do it. So with this is also a check for $150.
Thank you.
And also our state commander's pin.
Nice, thank you.
O'Keefe, thank you very much. You do good work. And again, district, state, and national.
We gotta get some pictures.
Congratulations.
Get in there, guys. It's that-
Wow, what an honor. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Gentlemen, can we get a picture with you guys? Would that be okay?
Yes.
All right, let's do that.
I would like to say one word.
Sure, absolutely.
On behalf, see, I'm probably the only national officer that's been around for 100 years. Anyway, I would like to say that these gentlemen, see, we were out in combat, some of us did a lot and some of us did a little, but they're out there every day, our firemen, our policemen, and everybody else. And these guys are the ones that really do the work every day, and they deserve a hand from all of us. God bless them.
And, sir, before you walk away from the microphone, can I get you to state your name into the microphone for the record, please?
My name is
David Armstrong.
David L. Armstrong. I've been around here since there was about 5,000 people in Sparks.
Thank you, sir.
And related to half the state.
Yeah, bring your awards up.
Bring your words and just hold up massive amount. You gotta remember, it's very seldom that we have somebody that wins national. That's right. That is really something.
Take 2 steps this way. There you go.
Because you're not getting it flat, you gotta put, remember, put some yellow on the bottom.
Sir, move this way just a little. Thank you. Wonderful. Good job. I heard that. Fuzzy pickle, everyone. Good job. Oh, you guys look so good. Congratulations. Okay, I'm good.
Awesome. Congratulations, gentlemen. Yes, sir.
Congratulations, we're so proud of you.
It's our honor. It's what we live to do. Gentlemen, you stay safe out there.
Sir, you got one more.
Yeah, I'll make this quick, sir, and we'll be out of your hair. Thank you. No, this is another one.
And Mr. Armstrong and Mr. Wilcox, thank you again for all your service.
We appreciate it. We have one more presentation to the Truckee Meadow Firefighters Association, if we may.
Fantastic. The floor is yours, sir.
Okay, we'd like to present a check for $150 to the Truckee Meadow Firefighters Association. We know as veterans, we've lost friends, family, and we just want this to go to a good cause, and I know it will.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's well
Understood.
deserved.
Thank you for their service, too. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's always nice to start off a Tuesday like that. All right.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to just say a few words about Noe and Brian.
Please.
Brian's very, very diligent about making sure that our self-contained breathing apparatus are always in a state of ready repair. And my staff tells me that he saves the districts thousands and thousands of dollars because of his expertise, and just really keeps that important piece of safety equipment always on the ready. So we never have any doubt about whether or not they're going to function. Noe does a fantastic job with respect to the community CPR program. He's literally taught hundreds of people CPR, and is just tireless in his passion for making sure that people know about CPR and what to do in an emergency. He's always in the office on his days off, working on this project. So I want to commend both of them for a job well done.
Well, and once again, this commission feels that we have some of the best individuals in this. You know, Noe and Brian are exemplary examples of that. And so thank you very much for all your service and continued, service for Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District. We pride ourselves on people like you, so thank you. Mr. Chief, we are on to agenda item 9.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 9 is discussion direction to staff regarding 2017 Nevada legislative session and other legislative issues proposed by legislators or by other entities permitted by the Nevada State Legislature to submit bill draft requests or such legislative issues as may be deemed by the chair or the board to be of critical significance to Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District. There are 2 bills I'd like to bring to the board's attention. One is AB 297. And what it does is it requires local governments to designate sites for persons to meet in order to complete the sale of personal property that was initiated on the internet, such as a Craigslist sale. And the legislation proposes that the board would identify a fire station and a police station to do so. Most of the fire chiefs that I've talked to don't believe that it's practical to identify a fire station as a place where people can come in and have a safe place to consummate that transaction, for the reason that if we get a call, kind of have to leave the people there, and it's critical infrastructure. So we have really, if we leave on a call, there's really no way for us to safeguard the equipment and the personal property of the firefighters as we leave. So most of the fire chiefs I've talked to, and I would recommend that we oppose that particular legislation, at least as it pertains to identifying a fire station as a place to do that. BDR 40-646 deals with recognition of emergency medical services personnel licensure in an interstate compact. So it's quite often that we will send emergency medical technicians, paramedics into California for a traffic accident. We actually treat patients. That's somewhat problematic because we're not licensed in California to practice paramedicine. So what that legislation would do is create a compact so that if we're providing mutual aid across state lines, that we're recognized that each other have the certifications, and a Nevada paramedic would be just as good as a California paramedic. So that particular piece of legislation I recommend that we support. Those are the only 2 bills that I'd like to bring to your attention today.
All right, any discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Yeah. Commissioner Burke-Bigler.
I think we should make a motion to approve BDR 40, agree with BDR 40-606 based on the way it'll be drafted when it comes out, and how Chief and his team will look at it. It seems to me that that's an appropriate, anytime we have the opportunity to do mutual aid across state and county lines, I think it's an excellent idea, and this would certainly be beneficial in Verdi. I've got some other issues going on in Verdi that we'll talk about later, but in the next meeting. But I think this is something that we really need to probably support. So I would move that we agree to support it.
Great. I have a motion from Commissioner Burke-Bigler, second from Commissioner Jung. All those in favor, signify.
Can we have
Further
discussion?
discussion?
Thank you. On the first request, what are we just going to stay neutral, or are we going to oppose?
I think I'd leave it with whatever the chief wants.
Yeah, let's do it, and let's do it in 2 separate motions?
2 separate motions.
If
Okay,
that works
thank
for
you.
Okay. So we'll do it in two separate motions. And so we'll do the first motion. Is there any public comment?
No, sir.
Okay. Seeing no public comment, if we can get, so I have a motion by Commissioner Berkler, second by Jung. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Now, in regards to the first bill,
That
what was the bill number on that?
Trying to remember which one I presented first.
The
Internet transactions, so
yes.
my view is that it should be opposed.
And what was the bill number on that one?
That was Assembly Bill 297.
Assembly Bill 297, okay.
Okay, I would make a motion that we oppose it based on the chief's concerns.
Okay, I have a motion to oppose, second. I have a motion by Commissioner Berkbigler, second by Commissioner Jung. Further discussion?
Thank you. And so, do we want to put in the caveat oppose as?
Currently written.
As currently written? And the only reason I say that is I think it's a good idea in a police station. I mean, my goodness. And if we ever get to the point where we have manned substations, that's a great thing. But I know
Mr.
people
Chair?
are always in Sparks, and I think that'd be a great location for people to finish those transactions over the internet.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Chief, how do the sheriffs feel about it, the police? Are they okay with it if it stays with them, or it's just the fire chiefs that are concerned about it?
Commissioner Berkbigler, I've only had conversations with other fire chiefs, have not had a chance to talk to law enforcement about their concerns.
Then, Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I think it would be beneficial if we did make our motion to say, we only don't support it as long as the fire departments are included in it. And then that way, it becomes a non-entity to us if they remove the fire departments.
Okay. Commissioner Hartung, you
Yeah,
feel okay with
yeah,
that?
no, I think it's actually a good idea. I mean, you read every day about things going south on transactions that happen over Craigslist and, the internet.
Right. Commissioner Jung?
I think that's true, and I don't understand where they'd be more safe at a firehouse when they're unarmed and.
No, firehouse is
what's-
not, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're not law enforcement, so
Right.
I don't know why that would ever even be presented as a bill.
Okay, so we have an amendment. Does the seconder agree with the amendment?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. There's no public comment, correct?
Correct.
All right. Seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right. Chief, you've got your direction there, so we are on to agenda item 10, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 10 is an introduction of new employees. I'd like to bring up Chief Alex Kukulis and Captain Chris Black. Captain Chris Black was our training officer at the Regional Academy, where we participated with Carson, East Fork, North Lake Tahoe. I'm going to forget the rest of the departments, but anyway, I'd like them to say a few words, and we'd like to bring up our newest members of TM and introduce them to you.
Chief. Good morning. For the record, Alex Kukulis, Battalion Chief, Truckee, Meadows Fire. I just want to quickly introduce Captain Black and the recruit. I'll let him introduce the recruits, but I'll give you a quick overview. Captain Black and the rest of the instructors that were down in Carson City did just an incredible job. They did a 10-week-long academy starting in early January, and as you well know, this has been one heck of a winter, and these guys were outside doing push-ups and training through most of it. So it's been a long time coming, and we call the fire service a pseudo-military type organization, and what they've just done is kind of equivalent to our boot camp. And they were tested both mentally, physically, and we had 5 start, 4 finish, so we're very proud of these guys. But as the chief mentioned, it was a collaborative effort. We've been doing this now for several years with 7 other agencies, all south of Washoe County, lake departments. I won't name them all either. But all the instructors handled each other's recruits as one. I think it's just a shining example of how fire departments work together well and take advantage of economies of scale and everything else. So without further ado, I'll let Captain Black introduce him, and good job again. Thanks.
Okay, for the record, Christopher Black, Captain for Truckee, Meadows Fire. It was my pleasure and honor to be our representative in this joint training that we were part of down in Carson City. The 4 that finished and are coming online, actually they've already started, I feel are a great representation of the fire service, and I think will do a great job representing Truckee Meadows as they move forward in their career. So I'm very proud of the hard work they put in, and hopefully they continue that, and because if they embarrass me, they know they'll be in trouble. All right, so we'll start.
Yeah.
The first recruit, we'll just start on the end, is Chase Perham. He also earned the name Tink Tink in the academy. And the only thing I ask is that you don't ask where their nicknames came from. It's probably not good for public record. Next is Shane Parker. His was pretty easy. He came up with the nickname Peter.
Yeah, nice.
Third was Dylan Lowe, and he earned the nickname Peaches.
Oh.
And last is Richard Norgrove, and I think they were grasping, he got the nickname Nar. Oh, the other two? I'll let you do that, Chief.
And then also I want to bring up Austin Stowe, who's a recent addition to us from Carson City, and Brent Roberts. Don't recall where Brent's from. Also Carson City. So gentlemen, if you'd come up as well. So very, very proud to have these people here, and they're already on duty serving at the station. And in fact, I think Shane had a structure fire, maybe the first day that he was on.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, that's all right. So anyway, congratulations to these fine gentlemen, and we're very happy to have them here.
Well, welcome aboard, gentlemen.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Chair, I'd just like to say thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. It's such an honor to have such great people who want to get out there and support our community, and we're really thankful to have you on board with us. So thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Commissioner Berkeley. Any further discussion? No. All right.
Thank you, Mr.
Chief.
Chairman. Item number 11 is discussion and possible direction to staff on the fire chief report to include following items related to fire district operations, volunteer program status, deputy and division chief recruitment status, Verde fire protection update, and automatic and mutual aid update. Before I get into that, I wanted to ask the board if there's any questions about the response and training summaries. If not, I'll let that report stand.
All right. So the training, okay.
Hearing none, very, very pleased to host the volunteer orientation last night. I believe I told you 40 over a text, but actually that number grew. I think we were somewhere around 45, 46. And a good cross-section of men and women in our community. So we'll see how many people fill out the application. There was a lot of applications handed out. So their first step is to do a background check, and if all clears there, then they'll move on to a physical. And from there, we'll start training in wildland probably late April, and we should have them ready for the wildland season come 1st of June. And then if they like that, then we progress on to structural firefighting and water tender driving and all the good tasks that we need our volunteers to do. So a lot of the people, some of the people were interested in South Valley, some were interested in Lemon Valley, some in Silver Lake, a few for Verde, and so we think that we'll be able to add to our volunteer census here before too long.
Super.
Great.
That's great news.
That's fantastic.
Deputy and Division Chief recruitment is scheduled for April 19th and 20th. We have a total of 11 candidates, semifinalists for Deputy Chief and 9 for Division Chief of VMS. Again, we hired ESCI to facilitate the process. So once those individuals are assessed and scored, we intend to narrow down that pool to 3 finalists for each position, and then we'll bring them back for final interviews for a meet and greet. I'd love to have the board there to meet them. And I understand that 3895 will host that meet and greet. And then we'll have final interviews and make a selection. I anticipate that the individuals will be on board by late May, and again, just in time for wildland season. A quick update on Verdi fire protection update, and if I could have our slide go up. We've just recently acquired this water tender that will go in
Isn't that
service
gorgeous?
in just a couple of weeks. We need to add radios, we need to put equipment on, and we need to train staff on its operation. So this is a vehicle that's fairly easy to drive. It replaces the water tender that was owned by Verdi Association, which is 1980, 400,000 miles, double clutch, very difficult to drive. So this is a modern piece of apparatus. Again, it is brand new, and will go to the Verdi Volunteer Station. We're taking delivery of another one. I think it's late April, and that will go to South Valley. And so we'll add a water tender to South Valleys. So we're very happy to have this piece of apparatus here. Because the issue surrounding the fire on August 2nd in Verdi has been somewhat contentious, I've decided to bring in a third party to review the facts surrounding that fire. It's a fire chief that I've never met. He runs a significant rural district in the state of Washington, and he's also a Type 1 incident commander, which is as high as you can go. So he really understands a rural response. He's actually going to arrive, I believe, tomorrow. And so what I've asked him to do is review and report on the facts surrounding that particular fire. You know, there's been a lot of conjecture. I've heard our response time was 30 minutes. It's not factual. There's dispute about how involved the fire was when we arrived. There's disputes about how many Reno fire engines were there. I mean, the list goes on, and unfortunately, I don't believe that the community in Verdi is getting the correct information. So to get the correct information to the community, I've asked them to do a report. He'll also look at district resources relative to rural capabilities and make recommendations to us specific to Verdi, and also take a broad overview of what our rural capabilities are. So if there's anything that you'd like to add to the scope of work, I'd be glad to add that to it, but I think that that's pretty much sums up what I need him to do. The work should take about a month, and if the board would like, I'll bring him back to have him report directly to the board either in April or in May. And then I would ask the board for permission to release that report to the Verdi community, and we'll mail it out to everybody who owns property in Verdi. So hopefully that is going to get us to a point where the controversy can be mitigated to a degree. And then finally, automatic and mutual aid update. We're making good progress with Sparks with respect to AVL. I'm also meeting with the Reno Fire Chief on the 24th, and we'll be discussing some of the same things about sending the closest unit to medical emergencies, as well as what we do right now with structure fire. So as soon as I have the opportunity to meet with Chief Cochran, I'll report back to the board either via email or back at the podium. So we are making some progress on that. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
Great.
Mr. Chairman?
Commissioner Burke-Bigler.
Thank you. I think it would be an excellent idea to bring the Verdi Fire Protection District and the general report back so that the presentation can be made on the record here. I think it would be very beneficial that we then have it on the record of exactly, you know, what happened, and I think that'll answer a lot of questions for all of us if we could do that, so.
Very good. Be happy
Thank
to do
you.
that.
Absolutely agree. Any other discussion this time? You know, Chief, it looks like, I'm just looking briefly at the career statistics here. It looks like we're seeing an increase of calls, and I think a lot of it was probably weather-related this year, but we saw quite a jump from 765 last year to 929 this year. Just showing that we are looking significantly higher at our numbers, and
Yes.
making sure. And so I want to make sure that, you know, the way we're properly staffed and that we're constantly looking at, you know, where we're at because we're running 547 EMS calls for the total of the month. 100. Right? No, 547 total for. No. $547 for the emergency medical services for this for month of 17. So one of those things, I just want to make sure that we have enough staff to, and I know we just added 6 paramedics this morning, but it's something that we need to constantly keep looking at, so my opinion only. All right, looking for a motion to accept the report. Oh, Commissioner Jung, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, thank you very much for putting together your transition plan into a dashboard way to look at it. This might be too much to ask, and we may be moving to completely electronic anyways, but we can't see the colors because it's in black and white. So if you could do that part in color, it's just so, it's designed so we can take a quick look at it and find where the areas are, and when it's in black and white, it doesn't do that much for me, more
Understood.
than just the bullets either. So.
I'll send you an electronic copy of
Okay.
of it in color.
Thank you.
Thank you for that input.
Okay. All right, any further discussion at this time? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
Motion to approve?
I have a motion from Commissioner Hartung, second by Commissioner Burkbiegler. All those in favor?
Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sorry, do we have public comment?
We do
Thank
on
you.
this one, Mr. Chair. James Severs.
Thank you. Mr. Severs.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Jim Siebers, and I live in Verdi. And I have a very short comment this morning. I'm sorry I drove all night to get here so I could be here for the meeting, but I just didn't quite make it. I just wanted to let you know, the problem that we had in Verdi, as you're well aware, happened August of last year. It's now 8 months later, just about, in another week. And I just wanted to say, this is not really an 8-month problem. This is about a 1-month problem. So we're a little bit anxious about getting something done. Fire season's in 3 more months. Sorry. Fire season's in 3 more months, and we'd like to see something happen, and we haven't seen much. So if something was presented here this morning that I missed, I apologize, but we're just very, very anxious in Verdi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Severs.
That's all the public comment.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. All right, seeing no other further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Chief, item 12.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Liparelli, do I need to read this whole lengthy paragraph, or can I paraphrase it?
Mr. Chairman, the agenda item is posted. The Fire Board doesn't have a practice of reading titles into the agenda, as far as I know. You may or may not read it.
Okay.
All right.
There's your
In
direction.
the interest of time, I'm just going to introduce this as a 5-year buyout of workers' compensation, and the Chief Fiscal Officer for the district, Cindy Vance, will present this.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cindy Vance, Chief Fiscal Officer for Truckee Meadows Fire. This is the actual final year for the workers' compensation buyout from City of Reno. This year's total is $1,548,404.50 for the fiscal year 11-12 claims. This does exceed our appropriations for the year. It's much larger than expected, but we did estimate high. However, we still need, we are also requesting a budget transfer from the Truckee Meadows General Fund contingency account to the workers' compensation account to fund this payment. There were 2 claims that actually increased by almost $4 million together in the estimate, and that's why the actual is much higher than we originally accrued of $533,000. We did also appropriate another $995,000 for claims. So between the 2, we're only short about $25,000. So we are asking for permission to pay this invoice of $1,548,404.50, and a resolution to transfer $25,000 from the general fund's contingency account to the workers' compensation account to use as a budget augmentation to pay the invoice.
Great. Thank you, Mrs. Vance. Is there any discussion? Ms. Vance, and you, as you stated, this is the last year we will be paying into this, correct?
Correct. This finalizes the workers' compensation claims that we owe to Reno.
Okay.
We still pay other.
Right, but this is for the last of the
Yes,
workers' compensation
for claims year 11-12.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you for the clarification there. Looking for a motion. Yes.
I move to approve the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District 5-year buyout of workers' compensation claims for fiscal year 11-12 in the amount of $1,548,404.50 per the Reno TMFPD interlocal agreement, and to authorize the execution of a resolution transferring $25,000 from the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District General Fund contingency account to the Workers' Compensation Fund, and to use that transfer to augment the district's fiscal year 16-17 workers' comp fund budget in the amount of $25,000 for the purpose of paying the 5-year buyout for workers' comp.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? I have a second from Commissioner Hartung. Public comment.
There is none, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. All right. Seeing no public comment and no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Vance. So we are on to agenda item 13.
I'm also presenting for agenda item 13.
Okay.
This is a request for a resolution to transfer the fund balance of $616,544 from the district's health benefit internal service fund to the district's general fund, and to eliminate the internal service fund. The the Truckee Meadows Fire District's health benefit internal service fund was put into place to pay for self-insurance and then also retiree benefits. However, now we are all fully insured, and we use the other post-employment benefit plan trust to pay retiree benefits. So there's no need for this fund, and it hasn't been used for a couple of years. So we're asking to go ahead and close the account and transfer the remaining balance.
Great. Thank you, Ms. Vance. Any discussion? Commissioner Hartung.
Motion to approve is outlined in the staff report.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hartung, second by Commissioner Burke-Bigler. All those in public comment?
No, sir, thank you.
Do we have, seeing no public comment, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Ms. Vance.
Thank you.
Chief, you do have a seat up here at the dais. You understand that? There's a seat for you right there at the dais.
Yeah, I've
You
been
feel more-
asked about that
Do
before.
you feel more comfortable down there?
I'm just more comfortable down here.
Okay.
If the board wants me up
Just-
there, I'm happy to do
Just giving
that.
you the options.
I just like looking at you.
Now you don't have to lie to us like that.
Somebody.
Item number 14 is discussion and possible approval of 3 new fire prevention vehicles. We have increased our fire prevention staff to 3, and the vehicles that they're driving are just a little old and high mileage, so this approval will get them into something new and more dependable.
All right.
I do have a question on this.
Commissioner
Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Chief, I see that the modifications in the equipment are estimated at $25,000 per vehicle. How long does that equipment last typically? How often do we need to upgrade it, or is it just software and firmware upgrades to, sort of keep it up? And then by the time we need to replace the vehicle, do we replace, does the vehicle wear out by the time the equipment wears out, or is it?
No, it pretty much hangs in there, Commissioner Hartung, for the life of the vehicle. So it's radios, it's light bars, it's probably a camper shell on the back.
Okay, I see.
And
I see.
the
So it's not just all like radios and access to system equipment.
Correct.
It's also safety equipment, light bars and that. Okay, I got it now.
They're like fixtures in a real estate deal. They're things that we.
Got it. Okay, thank you, Chief. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Commissioner Hart, any further discussion? Seeing none, looking for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Hartung, second by Commissioner Burke-Bigler. All those in favor, public comment.
There's no public comment.
Thank you. I'm going to get better at this, I promise you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed. Motion carries unanimously. Chief.
Item 15 is discussion approval of to staff to advertise and solicit bids for Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District for the equipment purchase of 1 4-wheel drive ambulance. The ambulance that we now have in service in Bowers is very old and is starting to show its unreliability with its mechanical system, so it's time to replace it. We have limited opportunities to respond that because of REMSA's franchise agreement, but nevertheless, we are responding for REMSA when they call us, predominantly in South Washoe Valley. So it's time that we upgrade that unit, and so we want authorization to bid and select one and bring it back to the board for a recommendation.
Great. Any discussion?
Move
Seeing none.
approval.
I have a motion from Commissioner Burkbiggler, second from Commissioner Hartung. Is there a public comment?
No, sir.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item 16 is discussion and possible approval to purchase software Code 3 Simulator. This particular software will allow the district to examine different deployment schemes. We've looked at the possibility of doing peak activity units in the future. We want to study where our busy fire stations are, where our structures, fires are, where our EMS calls, what time of day they happen. So what the simulator software does is what a consultant would do for us and what GIS could do for us, but we can do it in-house. And we can model all kinds of different scenarios as we grow. Where should we put new fire stations? Should we move existing fire stations? And tell us a lot of detail about how we're operating.
Great. Any discussion on this? Seeing none? Looking for a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All, public comment?
No, no, sir, thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Moving right along, Chief.
Item 17 is discussion and approval of a list of evaluators for the fire chief's annual performance review. I've given you a list and would ask the board to either approve or add or subtract as it is the board's pleasure.
Okay.
I might have one possible addition for you to consider, and that would be Caleb Cage, who's the chief of the Division of Emergency Management for the state. I've had a lot of opportunity to interact with him during the Little Valley Fire and also the Lemon Valley floods.
Okay, discussion. Commissioner Jung.
Quick glance here, is our incident commander for the Lemon Valley issue, is he on here?
He is not the president of the Chief Officers Association but Sam Hicks is not specifically.
Okay, what's the difference?
They're both.
I mean, I know it's two different people, but.
Yeah, they're both part of the same labor unit. It's just Chief Kettering is president of that.
So you feel his interactions during this event will translate to Kettering's ability to evaluate you?
I think the rationale was that if the president of 3895 was on there, that we would also add the president of the Chief Officers Association. I'm certainly not opposed to adding Sam Hicks to the list of evaluators.
I think that he probably was the most intimate with all aspects of the emergency. So if it's okay with you, like I've told you before, don't put somebody on there that's going to give you a bad rating no matter what, because it's not a good evaluation. But if you think he could be objective and give us some insight, it'd be helpful for me.
Sure.
And then, Chief, I have a quick question for you. Out of the top 9 listed here, and I know Mr. Setterfield, 1 and 2 are not direct reports, but how many of these are direct reports to you? Obviously, Team FPD 8 and 9, so actually it would be 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Are those 5 individuals direct reports of yours?
6. I'm counting them now, Mr. Chairman. So I count about 6 that are direct reports to me. 7, including Sam Hicks.
Okay.
And we'll be on there as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, Mr.
I would, okay, all right. Yes, I would also agree with Commissioner Jung that I think I would like to see Sam Hicks placed on there. And actually, if we're talking about incident command and major events since in the last year, I'd like to see Alex Kukulos on there as well. He was part of he was the incident commander for a Little Valley Fire. So I would like to see Alex on there as well. So Caleb, Alex, and Sam be additions to this report. Commissioner Hartung, do you have anything else?
No, Mr. Chairman, you've covered it. Thank you.
Agree with you.
Okay. All right. Is there any public comment?
No, sir.
All right. So seeing no further discussion, I would make the motion to accept this list with the addition of Sam Hicks, Caleb Cage, and Alex Kukulos to the list.
Second.
I have a motion and a second, motion by myself, second by Commissioner Jung. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Item number 18 is unnecessary. And moving on to item number 19 is Commissioners and Fire Chiefs announcements, requests for information and topics for future agendas.
Chief, do you have any announcements?
Nothing else to add, Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Hartung.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chief, how soon can you bring back to us the additional cost of the Lemon Valley flooding? I think it's only fair that that be enumerated and make a request to the county for reimbursement.
Very easy to do, Commissioner Hartung. We have what's called an internal order, so we track all of the costs related to that. I can give you a year-to-date pretty quick, although we're not done. So after we're completely done, then I can summarize an aggregate.
So on that, if I may, Mr. Chair, on that, Chief, how will we separate what potentially your regular duties would have been versus duties that were outside the scope that TMF-PD is assigned to do?
So when an employee fills out a timesheet, they attach an internal order specific to the Lemon Valley flood to their time.
Okay.
And so that's how we associate the two.
So, but I guess my point is if they had to respond to someone who had a cardiac arrest, that would be in the scope of their regular duties and should not be billed out as an additional item. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think we do a pretty good job in drawing a bright line between Lemon Valley flood and our regular operational duties. So if it's associated with responding to a regular emergency in Lemon Valley, that's not associated with the actual flood.
Good. And this is not meant as an adversarial position. I think TM needs to be reimbursed. There's a lot of staff time that's been put forward, and you guys have done a great job. I mean, the response in Lemon Valley, if I may, Mr. Chairman, was over the top. It was really, really very good. You guys really stood up to the challenge, and I think you've accomplished great things out there. But the Corps does need to be reimbursed. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Any further discussion at this time? All right. Chief, I just want to make one comment, and I want to thank all the staff that has come and sat with us today and been taking part in this meeting. Once again, these meetings wouldn't be conducted without the hardworking people that are sitting in the audience today, so thank you for taking the time out of your busy days to come and spend this hour with us. Chief, one other thing I would ask for prior to before budget season gets into full swing, which it already is actually, but I'd like to get a full equipment audit of what we have out there, and age of certain engines and tenders, brush trucks, what we have, what we should have, kind of where we are with things, and kind of get what a replacement schedule would look like if we have one of those in place. And when is the last time that was audited? So if we can get one of those and have a report for the commission, that'd be great.
We do have that, Mr. Chairman, so that's easy to provide.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right. Seeing nothing else, we have final public comment.
I have no one signed in, Mr. Chair.
All right. Well, seeing nobody else signed in, we are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Thank you.